I don't know if people understand how mortifying it is as a parent for that to happen to you. Back in the United States, I'm very type A. And so I was asking, like, is that just because we're foreigners? Good morning! It is time to explore again. You guys, our time in San Miguel is running out. But Harper and I are gonna take the morning and do a bit of exploring, and I think Jesse's going to join us at a cafe in a minute once he gets some work done. But we found cats, so first we need to stop and look at these cats.
Que me impacta mucho, como que toco con mucho de la gente de repente y ayer me estaba regañando. Really good.
And now we're just gonna explore some more. We found some art. Imagine that. Something that Jesse and I were talking about over breakfast, and I'd like your input on it because, you know, we haven't been here long enough to know anything about the culture, but the vibe that I'm getting is that it's just so much more laid back than in the States. I feel like in the United States there is this sense of entitlement, or this sense of like, if something doesn't go just right, like, then I need to let somebody know about it. I need to complain. I need to talk to management, that kind of thing. And I'm not saying this is just other people. Like, this is me too. Like, I feel like back in the United States, I'm very type A. And here, there seems to be kind of more of a mentality of just asking, like, okay, is this a big deal? Is this truly a big deal? Or can you let it go? We were talking to a guy in the market, and he was saying, you know, back in the States, if you're at a concert or a bar or something and somebody like walks in front of you or gets up in your space, like, that's a big offense, and that's like, oh my gosh. Whereas here, if the same thing happened, it might be like, you know, just move over a little bit. Like, the concept of like you owning the space simply by being there is just not a thing here. And you know, I feel like there's plenty of times where, you know, you order something in the restaurant and it doesn't come out like exactly the way it was on the menu. I feel like back in the States that would be like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, what tragedy has befallen us? Whereas here the response might be, you know, we don't have avocado right now. The other day I was in a cafe and the waitress just left for a while, and one of the people was asking, oh, where did she go? And another person who was a regular there was like, oh, well, you know, her kids are upstairs, so she just ran up to check on them. And I love that. I love that because, yeah, like there's nothing that we needed in the cafe that was so important that she couldn't just pop upstairs and check on her kids. I just feel like it's so much easier here to kind of let go of things and to realize that most of the things that get us bent out of shape are actually not a big deal. And I really like that. So we stopped at a little park in front of this church and put up the umbrella, and we're gonna sit here and see how long it rains.
Let's taste the presents. We can have a wave together.
Well, you're welcome to do that, but I'm gonna sit here with the umbrella on this bench. So just 10 minutes of light rain and the rain has stopped, but it's awfully cloudy, so I wouldn't be surprised if it rained again. Another thing that I am really appreciating is that it seems like there is such a more realistic attitude toward kids here. There seems to be an understanding that children make noise, and that as parents there is often absolutely nothing you can do to make your child be quiet. Harper has been shushed by exactly 2 people since we got to Mexico, and both of them were American. I don't know if people understand how mortifying it is as a parent for that to happen to you. Honestly, when we are around other Americans, like, it makes me nervous because I don't know how they're gonna respond to her when she's just being a 3-year-old. Had another rain shower. So I was telling my Spanish teacher about the Americans who were shushing Harper, and I was saying, you know, no Mexican person has done that, or even really given us any kind of like annoyed looks or you know, any of that stuff. And so I was asking, like, is that just because we're foreigners and they're being polite, or is it just a different mentality? And she was saying, oh yeah, look at that. And she was saying, no, like, people here understand kids make noise. That's what they do. They're noisy little creatures. Harper, are you a noisy little creature? Uh-huh. I am just absolutely loving the kind of like relaxed vibe here. And you let me know, like, am I making this up? Is this true? Is this Mexico? What's your experience been?